Oh! Who's that I see walking in these woods? Why, it's Little Red Riding Hood. Hey there, Little Red Riding Hood.
Hello, boys and girls, and welcome back to the Evil Monkey Arcade here in beautiful Purgatory, in between dimensions, where I talk about things that I find amusing because I'm in Purgatory, in between dimensions. And I can't get out. Ever. I did bad things. Anyway, we're going to talk about some movies today, and I'm not really going to be doing a review per se, as these movies are freaking awesome and you should really watch them anyway. And no, stop talking about the hat. Stop talking about the hat. I like this hat. This hat is comfortable. And it gets cold in Purgatory. So, I've got a question for you. How many good werewolf movies do you know of? Oh, come on. Anybody? A couple? You? 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 No, nobody? Okay, well, yeah, there's not been very many, especially recently. Now, you got the classics, American Werewolf in London, The Howling, stuff like that, but there hasn't really been any good movies. Now, you've got the pseudo-sequel to American Werewolf in London, American Werewolf in Paris, which, to be perfectly honest, was entertaining to my younger self, but as I watch it when I'm older, I'm like, this is kind of silly, and the fact that the werewolves were all CGI really rubs me the wrong way now. And then you've got the Howling sequels, which, while cheesy fun, aren't really that serious scare that, you know, you're really looking for. And then you've got other B-movie, just pure schlock that really doesn't take itself seriously and doesn't really do anything. Movies like, say, Bad Moon. There's a bunch of them that I can't really think of, but no real seriously scary, serious werewolf movies. And gods know, Twilight does not freaking count. Ever. On anything. It doesn't even exist. It never existed. It was all a bad dream. Yes. Yes, it was. So, imagine my surprise when in the early 2000s, when I say early 2000s, probably around 2000, maybe 4, 2005, I discovered a little movie that was a werewolf movie that was really taking itself seriously and was really good. Now, this movie was called Ginger Snaps. See, I'm not going to have to get the editing guy to put anything up, because last time he did that, he put stupid shit up there that made me look like an idiot. But yeah, Ginger Snaps is a really good movie. It's very low budget, but it really doesn't show. It's basically got the premises of these two sisters who are just extremely morbid, and I'm not going to say goth, because goth was more the 90s thing. I'm not going to say emo either, because these two girls are just delightfully twisted, while emo is more like, hey, everybody hates me. So it's totally not like that. But what it does is it basically takes that whole aspect of puberty and turns it into... Well, the werewolfism, changing into a werewolf, is kind of like a metaphor for puberty, which this chick gets bit by a werewolf as she's about to go through puberty, and that's all they think it is, which is really, really cool, and in the other way, just like, why hasn't anybody done this shit before? I mean, if they have, I haven't seen it, and if you know of one, by all means, point me to it, because I would love to see it. It's just really, really, really well done, and, the first movie just blew me out of the water. I was just like, oh, this is freaking amazing. I mean, it's... And the ending's good. Ending's good. And then we have its sequel, Ginger Snaps Back. Or Ginger Snaps 2 Unleashed, and I'm getting messages. So just, you're going to have to hold on. I'm doing a review. So, this one just extends the story of the second one, and it goes into a completely different way. I'm talking like I'm not going to spoil it because I would rather you see this, but it takes the story from the first one and then all of a sudden does a complete, like, I'm not going to say a 180, but it does a 90 degree and then a 360, then another 90, then a 180, and then it turns back around and looks over there, and then it goes over here and it just says, fuck all that, we're going this way. And that's pretty damn ballsy. Now, I like the first one better than I did the second one, but the second one still is a good movie. It is extremely well done and introduced some characters that, from what I understand, they were actually going to do a TV series based on after the events of the second one, which would have been extremely interesting. But it wraps up the story quite well. Then we have the kind of sort of, I'm not going to say the oddball of the group, but it kind of goes a little formulaic. Ginger Snaps Back, the beginning. This movie is, I guess, a prequel. It uses the same characters, but this is set in the early days of the Western expansion frontier and stuff, and still has it's set in the same place, just like 100, 200 years in the past. Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain, but they do some really cool things about having the same guys. I think there's a little inside joke too, where they have the same guy playing a different character in every freaking movie. But it's really good, and it's more of a straight up horror movie than the other two, which, well, they're straight up horror movies too, but it follows more the big budget, hey, we're making money now kind of thing, which, okay, yeah, normally I don't like, but this was a continuation of something that I loved, so I can't really down it for that. And they actually had, I think, a bit more of a budget on this because of the success on DVD of the other two. But it's really it's good. It's good. I mean, it's my least favorite of the three, but it is still very good. Now, again, you don't see very many werewolf movies, and I love werewolves. I love werewolf movies. I love big furry things. Like, that didn't sound right. Okay, we're gonna have to edit that out, which means that freaking Badger's gonna put some stupid shit in here. But let's just edit that out, okay? Please, don't make me look like a pervert. Alright, but I love werewolves. I always has. I mean, I've got freaking werewolf tattoos, all freaking over me, and wolf tattoos all over me, and I just love them. I mean, on my arcade, I have John Talbot. John Talbot, which, bonus points if you know who the hell John Talbot is. But I love them. Werewolf movies have always been my favorite subject, and not many movies come along that do a serious take on them. Yeah, you got the B schlock movies that are just, I mean, the costumes are horrible. I think there was one where the werewolf actually looked like a giant bunny. And I can't remember the name of it. I'm pretty sure it's in my collection, but it's just one of those you watch once and like, oh, good God, and pull out when you're drunk or having a good time with friends. But yeah, there hasn't really been that many. I mean, there's been some that I like say the Christina Ricci movie Cursed, which, well, I did that because I have a thing for Christina Ricci, but it was a good movie. I mean, I liked it. Even like Bad Moon, which, yeah, was kind of bad, but I liked it too. Even some of the even just the sillier B movies, but we haven't really had a big budget werewolf horror movie. I mean, Dog Soldiers, but oh, I forgot about Dog Soldiers. Dog Soldiers is a freaking amazing movie as well, which there's supposed to be a sequel to that, but it hasn't went anywhere as far as I know. I mean, I keep checking every once in a while, every 6 months, I check to see if there's anything new, but there doesn't seem to be, which is very disappointing for us werewolf fans. I mean, good lord, look at what the freaking vampires have done. Vampires are all over the damn place. You can't go anywhere without tripping over somebody with thinks they have a pair of damn fangs in their face. And that's all what the girls like. They like that, ooh, a seductive, ooh, a vampire. Which, I just want you to know that Bram Stoker, he didn't screw over the vampire thing, but he's the one that romanticized them, made these into these seductive creatures. Anne Rice did a lot more of it, which is, I'm not blaming them. There were freaking some wonderful books that Bram Stoker did, and, well, Dracula, of course. And then Anne Rice come along with Interview with a Vampire and her little vampire series. And then, you know, made vampires sexy and women fall in love with them. But they're not. Vampires originally were horrible, animalistic. We're talking worse than freaking werewolves. Well, you know, a werewolf would change into a human at least and still have a fraction of control while he was in his Lupin form. But vampires weren't. Vampires were this sick, twisted. In fact, the original vampire legends came from corpses who would feed on human excrement. Yeah, you know what that means? Shit. Human shit. Because they used to think that a little bit of life was passed whenever you did anything. They would feed on that. They would stay in the pits and stuff where people went to, you know, throw their shit. They would do that. And you girls like those? They're basically rotting corpses. They're zombies. They're blood-sucking zombies. Which is another thing. The freaking zombie genre is getting way too oversaturated to begin with. But that's a different rant for a different time. So I'm just going to leave you at that. If you're looking for some really good werewolf movies, definitely check out the Ginger Snaps trilogy. Very good movies. You can probably find them on Amazon. Or heck, come borrow them from me. These deserve to be watched. They so deserve to be watched. Even this one. But yeah, they deserve to be watched. So, watch them. And remember, Twilight never fucking happened. Didn't happen.
Little Red Riding Hood, you sure are looking good. You're everything a big bad wolf could want. Listen to me, Little Red Riding Hood. I don't think little big girls should.